In 2010, a Lakers team led by the late Kobe Bryant broke Celtics' hearts, beating the Boston franchise 4-3 in the NBA Finals. Jayson Tatum was just a toddler, well, was just 11 years old at the time. 12 years later, Tatum has the chance to help the Celtics win a record 18th NBA title. On Sunday, he helped the C's beat the Heat 196 for a 4-3 win in the Eastern Conference Finals. Tatum, who paid tribute to Kobe by wearing a sweatband with the number 24, scored 26 points for Boston. We have highlights.
A trip to the NBA Finals is on the line, and a date with those great Golden State Warriors. It's Jimmy Butler, it's Jayson Tatum, it's the Miami Heat, it's the Boston Celtics, and the Celtics came roaring out of the gate. Jayson Tatum, quick catch and shoot three is money. They're up by 13, but Jimmy Butler right back at him. Bank shot goes down. That cuts the lead down to 7. On the other end, Tatum again punching back. 30-17, Boston's lead restored to 13. In the second quarter, Jaylen Brown. Watch him sort of drive all the way to the basket. A little crossover there, hangs and hits the layup. Then Robert Williams to Jaylen Brown for the 3. And Boston's lead up to 15 at that point. Jimmy Butler driving down the lane for the tough layup and one. He'd make the free throw, cut the lead down to 12. It's Jayson Tatum on the other end, looking for Marcus Smart, and he finds Marcus Smart. Look at the floater there. Smart shot the lead at 13. Late first half, Jimmy Butler pulls up the 3. He had 24 points in the half, and a late first half run cut Boston's lead down to 6 at the break. Third quarter, Jayson Tatum to Jaylen Brown. Here's a quick layup. Brown 24 points on the game, the lead back up to 13. But Bam Adebayo gets the layup to go. That cuts the lead down to 10. Jayson Tatum on the other end, back and forth we go, gets the layup there, and it's 78-67. Kyle Lowry to Jimmy Butler for the jam late in the third quarter, lead down to 7. Max Strus to Butler, and Butler cuts the lead down to 3 with the bucket there. Later, fourth quarter action, Marcus Smart floater, good. Marcus Smart to Jayson Tatum now, sidestepping for the 3. Huge shot there. Then it's Smart inbounding to Tatum for the fadeaway with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. Tatum, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Boston by 10. Kyle Lowry responding though. With just over a minute to go, lays this one in. That cuts the lead down to 5. Lead at 5. Max Strus says, how about 2? Drills the 3 there, and it's a 2-point game. Miami, a chance to take the lead now. Jimmy Butler's comes up short on his 3-point effort, and after that, Boston manages to hang on in a tight, thrilling victory. Boston advances to the NBA Finals. They win this one, 100-96.
So after 141 playoff games, Al Horford, the man with roots in the Dominican Republic, will play in his first NBA Finals.
Grinding. We stayed with it. We believed in each other. We made a commitment on the defensive end. That was the biggest thing, defending, and that was going to be our identity, and that's what's carried us this far. It's been a great journey. A lot of battles. Obviously never been able to get it, but had a lot of great teammates along the way, and this group is special, and I'm really happy to be sharing this moment with these guys.
The first ever recipient of the MVP trophy for the Eastern Conference Finals, Jayson Tatum.
It's a great honor, but you know, this is some of our 4th time in the conference finals, my 3rd time, and to get over the hump with this group, it means everything. So I couldn't be prouder of these guys, the road that we took to get here. You know, not a lot of people believed in us. We took the toughest route, and it worked out. Game 7, everybody know how much he means to me. You know, my idol and you know, my favorite player. So just to have something to, you know, to show him in the biggest game of, you know, my career so far, and it worked out.
These MVP trophies look distinctly un-American. They're rather small. The Americans are used to outsized, ostentatious things. So I don't know about that MVP trophy. Anyway, our NBA analyst Alister Albert joins us now. Alister, welcome back to the Sports Max Zone.
Trophy is a trophy, man. It's more hardware for the mantle. It's all good.
There you go. All right. let's start with the Heat, who lost. The debate raged post-game about Jimmy Butler's decision to not go for what seemed like a two that he could make because there was only Al Horford between him and the basket. He pulled up and went for three. Some say, well, Jimmy, it's all right if he takes that shot and misses that shot. Others are saying, yeah, but you have to calculate in your mind the state of the game. True would have tied it and ensured we played overtime. He should have gone for the sure thing rather than go for glory. Where do you sit in that debate?
That's a guy who has supreme confidence in himself, and Jimmy Butler has shown throughout his career that he can be clutch. He can hit those really timely baskets, in the clutch moments. And I think he pulled up and he decided, he did it earlier on in the game as well. Coming down in transition, hitting the three, the only three he had made at that point, and he maybe figured, he could do it again. Whether or not it was a good shot or a bad shot, I actually thought he was okay to take it because he was the guy who led them to that point. He was the guy who was probably going to have the ball in his hands to the last second anyway. And he had played every single minute of that game. He had not taken any sort of rest and anything. And, there's also speculation that maybe he just didn't want to go into overtime. He wanted to get that opportunity to win the game right there and then and not kind of expend any more energy. So, Jimmy Butler, he's a guy, he comes up a clutch. Sometimes he doesn't, like last night, of course. I had no problem with the shot. I think, of course, basketball purists would say, yeah, go in, try to get the easier, well, not the easier basket. Al Horford was there. Al Horford has shown to be a remarkable defended big man in the zone this playoffs and throughout his career. So maybe he saw that as well. So I had no problem with the shot. It's just really unfortunate that it didn't score for him and the Heat.
Yeah. I looked at the numbers immediately after the game, looking at the box scores, and it's as if I was hearing your voice in my head talking about the quarter-by-quarter differential because the Heat never turned up in the first quarter. And if you look at the spread of points across the four quarters, you would say they lost the game in the first quarter.
Exactly that. I looked at it as well and it was like, to be down 15 points in that third quarter, starting off really slow, it just shot them. They shot themselves in the foot where that's concerned. And, they're not a team like the Golden State Warriors who could turn it on after the half and really start putting points up on the scoring board. So it really hurt them in that way. And they tried to shoot threes. They were putrid from free. I think shot 6 of 30 from the 3-point line, 20%. And they tried to shoot too many of those, and it just kind of really backfired. And then Jimmy Butler, of course, tried his best. Bam Adebayo had a really good game. Kyle Lowry stepped up. We had a cameo from Tyler Hero who tried to give it a go, but he just couldn't. And they just didn't have enough offensive firepower to go against Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, of course, the East MVP, Marcus Smart, and everyone else who contributed to that win. Quarter by quarter, this is now the time for the Celtics to kind of translate that into the finals and continue to be very offensively disciplined moving into these finals. So let's see what they do there against the Warriors. Good luck to them for sure.
Definitely, Alister. Is it fair, though, to say that the team with the stronger defense won last night? And, of course, they're very deserving based on the path, the difficult path that they had to this finals.
Yeah, Jayson Tatum alluded to that in terms of the path they took, of course, beating the Nets, the defending champions, and, of course, the first seed in the East. And, it was an outstanding path for them to go through. And I think I kept on saying throughout these playoffs that this was a career-defining moment for Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown in these playoffs, going through that gauntlet that they did and coming out of the winner at the end each time. I think that they were able to build their confidence, maybe had a little bit of luck a few times. Chris Middleton not playing in the last series. Many people think maybe if he played, the Celtics might not have advanced. The injuries to the Heat and everything, that probably didn't help them, the Heat, in terms of being able to contend and really go at them all the way. But, credit to them, the best teams always win. And whether if it was their defense, the defense is a staunch defense. We've said that throughout the year. They were the second best team in the NBA in defensive efficiency, and it showed last night. Their length, their athleticism, their ability to read plays helped them last night, and that's what allowed them to pull through, in addition to their timely and effective shooting as well.
Right, and as we're giving praises and celebration, we have to talk about Celtics coach Ime Udoka, his first time at this level, and we always knew about the difficult playing career that he had. What did you make of him just at the highest level?
Yeah, it's, really impressive. This guy has come from a coaching tree, which I think many people would really, really be, will revere. Greg Popovich, I think you could kind of say is a little bit of a winner in this finals. Two of his, one player and one of his coaches, in these finals. And, the Greg Popovich tentacles are kind of just on these finals in that sort of way. But Ime Udoka has come in, starting off the season, he was a little bit shaky. I had a few moments watching him on the sideline, and I wondered if he was a bit uncertain about himself and the decisions he was making. And then, they kind of hit their stride about 40 games into the season when they turned things around in January and, became the best team in the league moving on forward. The main thing for him, and I think was really impressive with him, he held his players accountable. He wasn't afraid to call them out in the media. Brad Stevens was a totally different coach where that was concerned. He was a little more soft-spoken and didn't want to ruffle any feathers. But Ime Udoka came in and I was really trying to hold guys accountable and try to push them to be better. And this is why you see Marcus Smart as Defensive Player of the Year. Jayson Tatum is all sorts of accolades coming to him and becoming the superstar that he is and everything. So much credit to Ime Udoka coming in with his Nigerian roots, strong accountability, discipline and everything. And he brought that to that team. And, it's really, really impressive what he's been able to do this year.
Yeah, of course, the NBA Finals are upon us. Game 1 will soon be on tap, or later this week. So you have the best offensive team in the playoffs, the Warriors, against a team with the best defensive record in the regular season, the Celtics. The Warriors can rain down the hell of threes like no other team in the NBA. And so you have to be aware of them in the third quarter, right after the halftime break. What will happen when these two lock horns?
Boy, this is going to be an absolute test. If Jayson Tatum thought he went through the gauntlet, going through what he went through in the East, he's about to see it, tenfold with these Warriors. And I think we know about the experience that these Warriors have. They've been to multiple finals. The core is still intact. The coaching is still intact. The experience where that comes in. And, they're going to have to be ultra disciplined in this matchup because, everything that they faltered in these series in the Eastern Conference Finals, they can't afford to replicate it against the Warriors. Their turnovers, we had a lot of discussions and talk about the turnovers from Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown at certain points in the series where they were very lucky to escape with the wins that they did. The Warriors punish people for their turnovers with, quick transition threes, and then it becomes too difficult to climb at that point. The defenses is going to be really interesting. These were the first and second best teams in defensive efficiency for this year. It's going to be, who's going to be outmatch each other and have the best adjustments for this series. What's Draymond going to do? Is Steve Kerr going to go small and put Kevin Looney off the bench and bring in Jordan Poole to play, as a third guard in the starting lineup? There's so many different combinations and things that you could look out for in terms of matchups and everything. I think the matchups are very, I wouldn't say even the starting lineup. I think the edge goes to the Celtics in terms of their defensive and offensive capabilities. But the bench, I think, for the Warriors is going to be very, very important. Jordan Poole, Kuminga, Otto Porter, and all these guys are going to be coming in. Gary Payton Jr., who's coming back from injury, is going to be very important on the defensive end. So this is going to be a very, long finals, I think. And, let's see what happens.
The only two things there, you should be happy that we don't have a direct link with Draymond Green. He would be hopping mad if he saw your graphic that said he and Al Horford are even. Draymond would be hopping mad for that. And then, just tell me a little bit, we don't have any time left, but Jaylen Brown and Klay Thompson, are you saying that you give Jaylen Brown the advantage because of his likely greater consistency over the course of the series? Because I would suggest to you that if any of those guys can go 40 on a night, it's Klay Thompson and not Jaylen Brown. Give him the tools he has.
It is true, but I think the defensive capabilities of Jaylen Brown at this point, I think, are a little bit stronger. I still don't really trust Klay on the defensive end, coming back from the injuries that he has. He has been really good, being able to produce offensively, but I think he's still not 100% there in terms of his defensive capabilities, moving around screens and running after players. And I think Jaylen Brown and his physicality, will kind of cause a little more problems. And I think that's where the edge comes in. Offensively, I still kind of give the edge to Klay because, he could get, and really hot really quickly. But I think the defensive end is what's probably going to trouble Klay a little bit, and that's why I give the edge to Jaylen Brown there.
Yeah, were you not a good chap, I'd have sent this clip to Draymond Green and let him do you on a podcast. But you're a good man, so I won't do that. Thank you very much, Alister. We'll talk again.
No problem, guys. See you later.
Good. Break time here on the Sports Smack Zone. Back with more after these.